The size of the file is in kilobytes. I'm going to do 1K per file. That's the default. The default file name is hog, and if you don't do anything else, so I could just type inode hog, or I could say I want every file to start with the word garbage. That's why I did that. And it just keeps touching files until no space left on device, and it created this many files, 122,749, and 120 directories, then it ran out of inodes. So if you look at that, there's all these directories. If I do a df command by itself, I'm only at 31% of disk space. If I do a df minus I, that shows us how many free inodes that I have, and my inodes are all used up. So even though I have blocks that are free, I don't have any more inodes that are free to write to. And yeah, hopefully that'll be. Hopefully that'll go. And then we can remove all those garbage files if I don't want to see them anymore. So that we can look at our inode back to 1%. Great. Be careful. I already said don't use it on your root file system or your system will stop working. Don't delete files you don't mean to, your system will stop working. I'm quite redundant there. All right, so on the assignment then, use the disk hog program. Find the largest file that can be created in each of the 10 file systems. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Each of them has there's a limit to how big of a file you can make.
Yeah, so back here, I could grab, where is that number? This number right here. Oh, that's the biggest file I could create on this particular partition. So jot that number down, or copy it off some other location, whatever, and make a note of, this is my NTFS, formatted this way, or whatever it was. This is the largest number of files I can create.
That period too, you got a really hard, like really small limit.
Yeah, on some of them they'll be very small. So jot those down for each of the 10 file systems. And then inode hog, find the largest number of files that can be created. That one we saw, I think I would just grab this number right here, this number of files, 122,749. I jot that number down for each of your 10 file systems. Then, take those numbers, and maybe it's easiest just to write them down in an Excel spreadsheet. Make a chart of the largest file size for each of the 10 file systems. I don't care what your chart is, a bar chart, line chart. Make a chart of the largest number of small files. So,
which ones?
that was kind of weird word, but the inode hog one. Okay, make a chart of the 1K blocks field in the output of DF for each of the 10 file systems. Make a chart of the available field in the output of DF. So after I mount everything, before I even do any tests, I'd probably go do the df command on each of the 10 file systems and jot the 1K blocks field, right? So we do df, whatever, whatever. This is the field right here, 1K blocks. So we grab whatever that number is for each of the 10. Then, after I run disk hog, before I've deleted any files, I would then go over to the available field and make a note of that. Same with inode hog. Now remember, you have to do disk hog, then you have to delete all that stuff in order to run inode hog. You don't have to unmount, you don't have to delete the partition, but you will have to delete those temporary garbage files. Finally, this is lengthy. Oh, I need to change that. Okay, let me go change that because that didn't work, right? So we had a 200 meg primary partition, and on that last 200 meg primary partition, that that works. We'll hope that it's big enough. On that last partition, we want to make this file system a ext4 file system, so your format is ext4. We want to make it the storage location for all the users' data. So /home will be mounted to our new partition. The problem is, you already have data in /home. So what happens if you mount a partition where data already exists? Try it and see. It actually doesn't delete it, it just hides it, so you can't see it. So, what we need to do, so right now we have /home. You don't have, you probably have only one user, maybe 2 users over in /home, but there is data here. And what we want to do, and this is all on probably SDA1 right now, and we want to take, and because it comes off the root file system, we want to take this home stuff and we want to put it on our new partition, which is probably going to be SDA3. So we do it the same way. But the very first thing we do is I would probably copy /home, copy -r/home to some other place, like /home.0, or move it, I don't care. Maybe, yeah, maybe that's even better. It'll break it for a second, but that's all right. So maybe I move my home directory to a different name. And then I'd go format my new partition, I would mount it at /home, and then I'd copy all the stuff from home.0 into my new /home, and everything should work good when we're done. And then you have this submission file that I think you can figure out. I think, I can't, let me know. There was, oops, not somebody I want to go. There was home directory configuration. So this is how I did the home directory part. I believe this assignment is worth a little bit more than a typical assignment because it seems like it's a little bit more in-depth. Can't remember how much more, but I'll go figure it. Okay, so here I am. How do I switch a user's home directory to a different partition? So if I do it ls/home, you can say I just have 2 users in there. I don't have, not using much. And I can do a df/home. It shows me /home is mounted on SDA1. That's how everyone's will be to begin with. So, reset that. If I want to put their home directories on a different partition, I have to create a new directory and mount it. So here's what I did, is I moved /home to maybe some other directory with home 00. I made a new directory, /home. Format, oh, well, I didn't actually write down all the instructions that I did, but you can figure it out. Format the partition with mkfs, mkfs.ext4. Mount it to the new /home. Move all the files from the old /home 00 into the new home directory, and then test. How would I test it? Well, log in as a user, and if they can get to their home directory, then you've done it right. The other thing to be aware of, and I didn't take a screenshot of this, is I would, before I even did any of that, is I'd cd into my / directory. Because if you're in your home directory while you're doing all this stuff, you can't be in the directory while you're moving the directory, right? So cd up to the top of the tree before you even start that. Okay, my voice is tired. So what questions do you have? We didn't ask if anyone had any questions today. Yeah.
So on your screenshots, the CFDIS utility really is different than the CFDIS. Everybody has that. Is it straight?
It is a little different. Which set of slides are you looking at? I think over here, it's more similar on the second one, isn't it? Or is not? Maybe it's not.
I'm looking at the first one. Like, it doesn't tell me if it's like a primary, logical, or You say in the instructions about using it for 83, type 83 or type E or 7, those don't exist in one.
So it doesn't look like this?
But mine looks like that. I guess I'm